Welcome to 318 Legends, where we have conversations with local athletes from the 318 area code who have gone on to play at the next level. Today, our guest is a 2017 graduate of West Monroe High School, where he played baseball. He was the 2018 Conference USA All-Freshman team at Louisiana Tech. He is a two-time Conference USA All-Tournament team and a two-time first-team All-Conference USA at Louisiana Tech, and he was drafted 255th overall in the 8th round of the 2022 MLB draft. Our guest today is Taylor Young. Taylor, how we doing today, man?
Man, just honored to be on here. I know it's something y'all thought of, a couple months ago or however long ago it was, and just honored to be part of 318 and what that stands for. All the way from Shreveport all the way to here, and just honored to be a guest on the show, and can't wait to get into it and then see where it takes y'all and y'all's life and stuff like that. So just really honored to be on here and can't wait to get going.
Yeah,
Glad to have
man.
you on.
Yeah, man. We're lucky to have you. I know it can be busy sometimes, so thanks for giving us a few minutes of your time. So, as we started, you are a graduate of West Monroe High School, 2017, where you played baseball. Do you play football as well at West Monroe?
So, ironically enough, West Monroe is maybe now getting a little bit more known for its baseball in the past couple of years. But as you know, if you're from 318 area or even surrounding areas, you know that West Monroe was a powerhouse in football for many years, especially in the 90s. And so I actually played my freshman and sophomore year, and I knew my size that I wasn't going to play at the D1 level in football. So I actually didn't play my junior year, and I focused on baseball during the summer, and ended up getting a scholarship. Luckily enough, my right before my senior year, and so I went. I was like, I don't want to have any regrets. So I went back and played my senior year of football, and that was actually when we went to the last, not the last time we went to the Dome. So we went to the Dome in 2018, my year. So we went back to back years, 2017, 2018, and we in 2017 we lost to Landry Walker. They were like
Mm.
a powerhouse football team that formed for 1 year, and they had like three different schools, and we were just unmatched. They were just bigger, faster, stronger in every aspect of the game of us. They just out athleted us basically.
Mm.
But yes, I did play football and for technically 1 year of varsity, which was my senior year, and it was a real lot of fun. I didn't want to have any regrets, like I said. So
So, just baseball. I think you made a good decision sticking with baseball. I mean, seeing where you are now, what is maybe your favorite high school memory playing baseball at West Monroe, either with a team or on the field, or some of those late nights where you're just hanging out with the boys.
right, so I think for 2 years straight, I'm not sure if they did it the year after we left, but I think for 2 years straight, we went undefeated in district play for 2 years straight. So I think, in high school, I'm not exactly sure how many games it is, but I think it's 15 district games you play. And we didn't lose a game for 2 straight years. So we went on a 28 game win streak my senior year. Baseball, we were 38-2 going into the state championship game. We ended up losing to Central, but that was just a fluke. If we would have played, if it would have been a 3 game series, like it normally isn't, or a 7 game series, how it is in the major leagues, I think we take that sting like pretty easily. But anything can happen in a 1 game set. So just super unfortunate we lost that. But probably my favorite memory was just playing. It's ironically enough, so my freshman year, Ross Blankenship was the head coach at West Monroe,
Hmm.
and then he left and went to Sam Houston, which is down in Lake Charles, and he was coaching there. And then, ironically, my senior year, they actually came to us and played us in the semifinal or in the quarterfinals in 3 game series, and we beat them the first 2 games out of 3. So it was fun to play him and beat him and back in his home field, I guess. And so just that core memory is what sticks out the most from that year.
Yeah, man. So you had said, you got an offer junior year. So we know that you went to Louisiana Tech. Go Dogs. So stayed in 318, but you went to Louisiana Tech. So what was, the process like for you? So we interviewed Jacob Pearson, who was in your class, and he actually went straight to the pros. And then
Correct.
he told us that process of, either going to play for college or just going straight to the pros in the draft. So for you, what was it like being recruited in baseball, and eventually why Louisiana Tech?
So yeah, obviously me and Jacob have, a similar path, but also a lot different for people that really don't know, the whole aspects of recruiting or just professional baseball in general. So I'll just start in high school. Jacob was, hands down the best player in Louisiana in 2017, like no doubt. I think he hit over 500 in high school, had 13 home runs, and we only played, what I say, 38-3 was our record. So what is that, 41 games, and he
Mhm.
had 13 home runs. So, I mean, just ridiculous numbers. And I'm not sure exactly how many doubles, but I mean, hitting over 500 in 5A, which is the highest A you can go in Louisiana, is just unheard of. And so he obviously deserved everything he got, and he got drafted to high school in the third round by the Angels, and that was awesome for him. Well, for me, a lot different situation. Obviously, I didn't hit 500 in my senior year, and I didn't have the recognition that he had, and he deserved everything he got, obviously. And so for me, I was kind of overlooked. I guess size, stature. I don't know exactly the reason, but I didn't even get an offer until my junior year when I played that summer. I was telling you all about to try to focus on getting a scholarship until June. Right before my senior year started in August. So it wasn't until I was almost 18 years old because my birthday is in August. So I was 17 years old and I didn't have a scholarship to go play college baseball. And my first scholarship was actually uh, Lane Burroughs, who's the head coach now at Louisiana Tech. It is where he was at was Northwestern State, and so Burroughs had already left, and so it was the new coach Bobby Barbier was actually the coach at Northwestern, and he called me and he was like, "Hey, I want to make you an offer. I want you to come down to Natchitoches, and we'll give you a tour and all this other stuff." And I was like, "Okay, cool." So go down there, get the offer, come back, and me and my parents actually were like, "We really like this," because we were like kids in a candy store. It was our first time, being recruited, feeling wanted. And so we were just like, wow, this is awesome. So, so the next week goes by, and then that's when Coach Burroughs calls me. He was like, "Hey, he was like, I remember this like it was yesterday. He's like, I've never seen you play, don't know anything about you, but from what people have told me, the other coaches that were there at the time, they were like, he said, you're my type of player, and I really want you to come to Louisiana Tech." So we take a visit there, me and my family, my mom, dad, parents, brothers, sisters, and stuff like that. And we go over there and just really fell in love with Coach Burroughs, his mentality, and what his future for Louisiana Tech was. And then obviously, history was made in 21 and 22, where we hosted a regional in 21 and then played in Texas regional in 22 and 2. And that was exactly what Burroughs' vision was for that
Mm.
program at the time when he recruited me in 2017. So just really came full circle, and was really fortunate enough to go to Louisiana Tech. And ironically, the Northwestern State offer and the Louisiana Tech offer were exactly the same. So I don't know if they did some kind of coordination or what, or if they just had the same thing in mind, but it ended up being the exact same offer. So wasn't really too hard for me. Uh, Burroughs knows exactly how I feel about him, and always will, and I love that man and his family and what he's done for me, not only on the baseball field but as a person and a father and husband and stuff like that for down the road. And so just super indebted to him and what he's done for me and my family.
Yeah, man. Did you have any other offers outside of those two? Did anyone come on the back end and try to get you away from Louisiana Tech, or was it really just Louisiana Tech the whole way?
So like I said, I only had Northwestern State and Louisiana Tech, and really it only took me a week after Louisiana Tech offered me, and I called Bros and I was like, "Hey, I want to commit," and stuff like that. So no one back then, it wasn't. I say back then in 2017, it wasn't uh, like, I guess it was kind of respect deal. You didn't really go after other players that were already committed or on the team. Well, now you have the transfer portal and all that stuff, so
Hmm.
it's like it's pretty much free game. But in 2017, it hadn't really reached to the point of where it is now, with transfer portal and everybody just trying to get the best of the best and basically making super teams and stuff like that. So no, I never had any other teams offer me because I committed so soon, but I didn't have anyone coming after me either. So it was a pretty easy choice for me to stay because of how I felt about Coach Burroughs.
So here in a little bit, we'll get into some of those iconic and legendary moments of y'all, hosting regionals and things like that. But for you personally, playing at Louisiana Tech for what was that, 5 years you played there then,
Mhm.
or four?
Correct.
What was just your favorite memory that stands out to you as a Louisiana Tech athlete on the baseball diamond?
Yeah, so most people probably think it'll be hosting the regional and stuff like that, but for me, It is the conference tournament that we hosted right before we hosted the regional that year. So we play first game. I think it was UTSA we played, and we ended up beating them. Well, then the next day we had Southern Miss, and they beat us, and so we were 1-1. Well, in the conference tournament, it's double elimination, so we could only afford one more loss, or we were out the tournament. So we're 1-1 going into day 3 of the tournament, I guess, and we have to win out to even think about hosting, to maybe even make a regional. We weren't sure exactly where we were, because as a mid-major in college, you have to either win a lot of games or win your conference tournament to basically get in to the postseason. So being a mid-major who hasn't made a regional since, I think, 2016 was the time before that, and then before that was, years and years before. But anyway, we didn't really know exactly where we stood and points in standpoints of the power rankings and stuff like that. So I think the next game we played Southern Miss, lost, and then I think we played Marshall, and we beat Marshall, and then we had to play Southern Miss again. And at this point we're 2-1, and so I think we're actually in the quarterfinals or maybe the semifinals. Well, Southern Miss, all they had to do was beat us once, and they're in the championship, but we had to double dip them. So we played them. I think it's on Sunday. We ended up having the championship on a Monday. Anyway, on Sunday we play them at, I think, 4:00, and they're up like 6-1 or 9-1 or something, like the 6th inning, and we come back and beat them that game to force game 2. Well, and then they're beating us again like 6-3 or 6-4 in the 9th inning, and I remember leading off that inning, and I was like, I have to get on base. If I get on base, we have a chance. So I get on base with a single. It's 6-5. I get on base with a single, and what was the first? Sorry, it's all coming back to me. The first game, still Netterville hits a ball to right center field, and Hunter Wells is on first base, and he hits a ball to right center, and we walk it off, and we win it right there. Hunter Wells scores from first, still hits a double, and we win the game in the 9th inning or extras. I can't remember. Here comes game 2. We're down by 1 in the 9th. I lead off with a single, and then we go Hunter Wells strikeout, and then we go Parker Bates strikeout. So then it's Manny Garcia steps up to the plate. We're down by 1, and it's a 2-1 count, and he goes big fly straight left field off the dorm apartments out there, and we ended up winning 7-6 walk-off homer. So it was pretty iconic moments in Louisiana Tech baseball history, something that'll be talked for, years to come. And then we played Old Dominion in the championship game, and then Coach Gaspard, who's the hitting coach at Louisiana Tech now and the infield coach, he was like, I don't give a crap what we do in the championship game. He said, we're going to win this game. He said, we're going to host a regional here, and it's going to be fun. So just go out there and just play, to the best of your ability. I don't care if we win or lose. And ultimately, we end up losing to Old Dominion. They walked us off with a home run over right center field wall. But we knew that we were hosting after we beat Southern Miss back-to-back games, and double dipping them was really awesome. So that was probably my favorite memory as a Louisiana Tech baseball player.
Yeah, and we know that season was when y'all got nationally ranked, and y'all, like you said, you were up to like 16th, 17th in the country. And so to piggyback off that would be, what was it like just as a player, not necessarily on the field, not necessarily, hey, what we did on the field, but in the community of hosting the Conference USA tournament, and then right after that hosting the regional. And like I said, I believe it got sold out. The regional was sold out. So many people were there. Holden, you were there. And so what was it like in the area, the atmosphere of back-to-back weeks hosting the Conference USA tournament, which had a lot of people, and then hosting a regional for the first time? What was it like just being in Ruston?
Yeah, and so just a little backstory. In 2019, that was when the tornado came through Ruston and fatally killed a family. And so, prayers and thoughts go out with their families and stuff like that. But it was kind of like a blessing in disguise in itself, and just completely God, hands over Ruston, and just it all the stars aligned, and it was just perfect. That was the first year we were actually in the stadium when we hosted the regional, host the conference tournament and host the regional. So it was like everything was just perfect. You couldn't have scripted it any better. And then obviously the community of Ruston was behind us 100%. And like you said, just the stadium was packed. I mean, I think Holden said he was sitting out in the left field and could barely see. You know, he can only see four positions on the field, and that was pitcher, catcher, third base, shortstop. So that just tells you how many people were there, and what a good time it was for the community to come together, and even people from Western Road, like Holden was saying, just everybody was there and wanted to see, you know, what the Louisiana Tech Bulldogs baseball team was about, and it was just super iconic and super fortunate to be a part of that. And like I said, it was just a blessing in disguise, and just can't thank Burroughs and obviously God enough for putting me in that situation to be there. So really thankful for that.
So we also know that in 2022 y'all played LSU. Holden wanted me to ask this question. Was that both at Alex Box? Was that a 1-1 home and home, or what was that?
So that was one at home and one away for us. So one at home and one away for them as well.
And so y'all beat them both times, right?
Correct.
So if anyone's watching this, they're not from Louisiana. You know, LSU's the big dog, and every other college is beneath them. Essentially, is what they like to think. So,
Correct.
but I have your stats from those two games, and so your stats in the first game, you were 3 for 4 with a home run and 4 RBIs, and then the second time you played them, you were 2 for 4 with an RBI, and then you got the game winning walk, in extra innings to win the game. Man, what was that like? You know, beating LSU, but also, I mean, statistically, you were pretty clutch and pretty important in those wins as well.
Right. So the first time we played them that year was actually at home, and it was early. I think it was either in February or March, so pretty early in the season. And you know, they had the hype around them, you know, Jay Johnson's first year and stuff
Hmm.
like that. And then, well, we were coming off of a season where we just hosted our first regional, and we were super excited, you know, just to try to relive up to that what happened the previous year. Well, I remember them coming into Ruston, and it was like 30 degrees, raining and half sleet, and they wanted no part of it. To be quite honest, they didn't even take in and out, and so they have natural surface where it's
Hmm.
dirt and grass. Well, at Louisiana Tech, we have all turf. Well, if you've ever played on turf, when it's wet, that ball skips hard and skips fast if it's a ground ball, and when you slide into bases, you're going to slide past the base, and just a lot of little things that most people don't really, you know, have in their minds. And so when they didn't take in and out, Coach Gaspar was like, "Yeah, we're probably gonna win this game because they don't know what the elements are on the field, and they didn't have any pregame practice on the field." So ultimately, we end up beating them, I think, 12-2, and it's at home. And so it was like, okay, we're for real, you know. Well, then the real test was going back to Alex Box, and because that place is, if you've never been there, and you know you're young, and you let, you know, fans and stuff like that affects you, then that place can really get a hold of you because the fans there are amazing. And so I think we were winning 7-6 in the. You know, I had that walk, and I think the 11th inning, and then Kyle Krager had been in the game since the ninth, and he was just sticking it on them. Really didn't give up any runs or hardly any hits. Anyway, so I have that bases loaded walk to put us up 7-6, and Kyle Krager comes in and shuts the door and goes, lead off. The guy goes, lead off error, and then we walk the guy, and then they try to do a safety squeeze, and we get him out, and then Kyle Krager goes strikeout, strikeout, strikeout to win the game with bases loaded. So pretty surreal moment for Kyle Krieger, and obviously, you know, us as a team, but playing them twice and beating them was really fun.
Yeah, man. Man, you had a great career at Louisiana Tech. You know, one of the most recent, I'd say, legends at Louisiana Tech, what you did there. And so congrats on your career, great college career, man. So now
Thank
we
you.
get into, you know, you've been drafted. You know, for you, what was the draft process like being, you know, did you have to travel a lot for, what's what I'm looking for like tryouts? You know, do you remember what was draft day like for you? I don't know what day round 8 is into the draft. Is like second or third day, but just from beginning to end, what was the draft process like for you? From your last day playing at Tech to the day you got drafted.
Yeah, so we finished up playing in, you know, early June, I guess, maybe mid June at Texas, in the regional we were in, and so we come home, and then I think 3 days later, I had a workout in Pearl River, Mississippi,
Mm.
and it was at their field, and it was with the Dodgers, like all the Dodgers amateur scouting and stuff was there, and so I go there and we take BP on the field and take ground balls, and then we did the 60 and all that stuff. And I actually remember that day very vividly. It was a really good day for me. I had a really good showing, felt really good. Obviously, I was fresh off the season, so I was in baseball shape, and just everything was clicking for me at the time, and was fortunate enough to do really, really good at that tryout. So I think that might have helped me out a little bit. I didn't have an agent at the time, which now I do. I got one this off season, so I was completely by myself. So any call to know what I would sign for or wouldn't sign for was coming straight to my phone. So that was a little nerve wracking. But on the day of the draft, we had, obviously all my family over at the house, and we're sitting on the couch in the living room. And I knew that I would. So day one is the first and second round, or no, day one is just the first round, but all the picks are streamed, probably 5 minutes per pick, talking about, their careers and stuff like that. So day two is second round or third round through 10th. So, I might be wrong on that. Don't quote me, but I was day two. I know that, which is the eighth round. And ironically, in the seventh round, um, the Orioles called or texted me and was like, "Hey, would you take X amount?" And I was like, "Yes, I'll take a plane ticket. Just draft me. I promise. I'm ready to go." And so, yeah. And so their pick, goes by in the seventh round, and they're like, "Hey, we might take you in the eighth." And I was like, "Okay." Well, the eighth round comes around, and the Orioles pass, and my name's not on the screen. I was like, "Dang!" So I was kind of, down or whatever, and which I didn't care what round I went in. I just wanted to see my name on the screen.
Mm.
And about that time, I got a text from one of the Dodgers scouts that was at the tryout I was at, and he goes, "You're going to be a Dodger." And literally 5 seconds later, my name comes up on the screen, and we just all started crying and super happy tears and jumping around and everything like that. So that's literally how fast it happened. It was like, "Hey, you're going to be a Dodger. I don't know the amount yet, but here you go." And I was like, "Okay, good. I'm ready." And then so that was about how fast it happened. So it was very quick, very nerve wracking, but obviously, very fortunate to be drafted.
It's intriguing to hear that because Pearson had the same kind of experience. He wouldn't tell us the team, but there was a team that so he got drafted third round. He said there was the team like late first round that said, "Hey, we're going to take you," and then that team came across and didn't take him. And so it's
Right.
intriguing to hear for you as well that just how strenuous that process is and how just lucky you are to get picked at all because you just don't know when you're going to get picked, who's going to pick you. And so yeah, you are currently with the Dodgers as well, correct?
Correct.
So are you in Double A?
So last year I was in high, which is in Midland,
Oh,
Michigan, and I was fortunate enough to be an all-star in that league. So hopefully this year, I leave for spring training this next Monday, so February 12th. So I'll be heading out to Arizona, which is where the spring training facility is, and maybe I'll get to see Shohei Ohtani and stuff like that this year. But that'll be pretty neat. But yeah, still with the Dodgers. Not sure where I'll be this year. Hopefully, get bumped up to Double A, which is in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and that's only 7 hours from the house instead of 16 like Midland, Michigan is. So
mm.
a
And a
lot better
little
for
warmer.
family. Yeah, a lot warmer. You ain't lying.
I'm surprised the
And
Dodgers got money to pay you, man.
yeah, from Shohei's deal. Yeah, you ain't lying. But just hopefully a lot closer to home so family and friends could come watch. And then obviously I'm married now. Got married in October of 2023. So would
Congrats.
really thank you. Would really like for my wife to be able to, come live with me. She's a nurse, so she can find a job anywhere. So really hoping that I'm in Tulsa, Oklahoma so she can come and travel with me and just see what, the minor league baseball world's about while she can work and do stuff like that.
Yeah, man. So the last question, it's a two-parter. One is what's been your favorite memory so far? Just your favorite moment being in the minors. And then two, is it what you expected? Is it all cracked up what you thought it'd be, as a kid, you hope I want to make it to the majors and then of
Right.
course when you get to high school, you have that realization, hey, I'm going to play college ball. If I do well, I could turn this into something. So first part of that is what's been your favorite moment so far? And then second part is it what it's all been cracked up to be or is it what you thought it'd be?
So yeah, I don't have necessarily a favorite part, but I have um made some really, really lifelong friends that I think are going to be around for the rest of my life. I have four really, really close friends. I guess I won't say four, I'll say six, but three of them actually came to my wedding, and then one's from Philadelphia, one's from Texas, and one's from Virginia. They all three came to my wedding. And I have three other buddies who weren't able to make it, but I knew they would have been there if, something wasn't, on their plate already. One had his sister was getting married on the same day, so he couldn't make it. And then two others, one lives in California and one was in Arizona, make it, just life events and stuff like that. But super fortunate that I had the three guys come to the wedding that did show up, and really wasn't expecting to meet lifelong friends who were there for me. And from what I'd heard, minor league baseball is kind of selfish. It's not like a college, like a brotherhood or anything like that. So just really fortunate that I met those guys, and that they, invested in me the same way I invested in them. It didn't matter what you signed for, or what you made, or what college you went to, or how big or fast you were and stuff like that. It was just, hey, what you see is what you get. So really fortunate that I met them. And just the minor leagues was, or is, it's a little different than what I expected. It's not selfish, but it's not like a full brotherhood like college is. It's really just, it's about the process, and it's about, everybody wants the same goal. Everybody obviously wants to make it to the major league. So it's finding out what process works for you and what works for your team, but also bettering yourself at the same time, because everybody has the same goal and you're all in the same team and in the same organization and trying to make it to the same spot. So it's a lot different, but also a lot of similarities. It's still the same game. It's still baseball. You still have managers. You still have pitcher, catcher, and all the positions are the same. And people just throw a little bit harder and run a little bit faster and hit a little bit further. But yeah, that's all I got for the minor league side. I just super thankful that I met those guys, and just looking forward to this year, and hoping my wife can come out with me, and really looking forward to that.
Yeah, I just thought about this, so this is the last question. Have you hit your first home run yet in the minors?
I have.
What was it like?
So I got drafted in 2022, and that was in July. And in August, I went out to Rancho, California, and played for the low A team. And I hit my first two home runs there. I only played 29 games. I think I had maybe 100 at bats. So hit my first two home runs there, actually at the same field against the same team, back to back days. I went home run, and then the next day I went home run again. And I think that's still to this day the farthest home run I've ever hit was my first one. And so that was really, really cool. And then got to do that. I was in California. I've never been there in my life. Still haven't been back. That was the only time I'd been. But obviously, me being with the Dodgers, hopefully I'm in California for a little bit longer. Hopefully, playing the major leagues.
Hey man, well we just want to thank you for giving us your time. So before we let you go, what you got going on in your life? I know you said you leave next Monday, but what's going on in your life? And if you want to plug anything, you can do that right now.
So right now, just kind of hectic around here, just trying to see all my friends and family and stuff before I leave, because I'll be going for probably the next 12 months, just traveling and stuff like that. Not really having time to come home because we play 6 games a week, Tuesday through Sunday. Monday is the off day. So just super busy then. But while I'm home, I've been hitting and stuff at Louisiana Tech. Fortunate enough, I can still use their facilities. Like I said, me and Burrows are super close. So really fortunate for him. But just figuring out all the logistics, where we're going to live at, and stuff like that is a little stressful. Me and the wife, because we've never been away from home, and just the unknown about moving off 7 hours away from the house, not having any friends or family, so got to make new friends, stuff like that. But just trying to put all the pieces together, and line up all the stars, and just hoping that everything works out, and which we know it will, and we're super, super excited for that, but also a little nervous. And then got to pack up the truck, pack up the bags, and take as much as you can without being overweight, because I'll be flying out to Arizona. So I'll have two suitcases, and just to pack everything into two suitcases and a carry on is Well, I guess for a man, not too hard, but for a woman, that's probably not gonna happen. So just doing all that, the little things and stuff like that. That trying to see friends and family. Like I said, I think I have 5 dinners to go to this week to eat with friends and stuff like that before I leave, just to have one last little get together, I guess. And then I think we're gonna do something with family this Friday before I leave on Monday. So just really looking forward to that and seeing everybody right before I leave.
Man, well, again, congratulations on the success. Man, we hope you keep moving up the ladders in the minor leagues and hopefully eventually, playing MLB at the top. And so we'll keep an eye out for you and we'll keep supporting you from here back in West Monroe and Ruston and Monroe and all the areas over here. So, hey, and for you at home, thank you for listening today. For 318 Legends, this is Lucas, Holden, and Taylor. We just want to say again, thank you for watching and peace out.
Thank you for
Thank you
watching.
so
See
much.
you.